Live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, what a wild game. That was that end sequence was crazy. I really I get it's preseason. You don't want to go in overtime. The refs are like, whatever, but that better not happen in the regular season. Right. I know they're trying to do the new rule change with the high five and stuff like that, but come on, it's the end of the game. Don't put it in the refs' hands. Right. Let them play it out, going to overtime. I said it's preseason. I'm sure the refs are like, dude, we don't last thing we want is a preseason overtime game. Let's make sure and ensure that somebody loses type thing. But overall, this game was the dress rehearsal, right? Getting into the dress rehearsal game. And if I'm being honest, I thought the Lakers were a little sloppy. Defensively, definitely still some concerns. The Lakers, I felt, weren't going full force, right? At times it was kind of like guy blew by. It was just kind of like, all right, kind of check back up type thing. Obviously, again, we'll see come, the Warriors game, right, on Tuesday, literally 4 days away from the Lakers taking on the Warriors. But I just thought in general, right, you had several guys that were really great this game. And I'll go into that here in a moment, but I didn't think the Lakers looked super crisp, right? Now, obviously, this is the first game all of them got to play together, so I'm hoping that that's just what it was. And, you had Austin Reeves struggle shooting the basketball. He didn't have a great shooting game at all. I mean, it was abysmal shooting the basketball. Did do some nice things as far as 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and he only had 2 turnovers. I did like that the Lakers did a great job of taking care of the basketball. I mean, even Luka had 9 assists, 3 turnovers. I like that, we took care of the basketball. Some guys really stood out for the Lakers this game. I'll go over that here in a moment. But I just thought, generally speaking, the Lakers were a little sloppy and on both sides of the ball. And then defensively, I didn't think, guys were just kind of jacking up stuff and hitting shots. And, it didn't like what we saw outside of the key individuals, right? Like Marcus Smart, I thought was amazing defensively, doing the dirty work, making the hustle plays, creating turnovers, right? Diving for loose balls. He had 4 steals or whatever, right? But outside of that, Jared Vanderbilt, I thought he had a decent game. I didn't think he was what we saw from the previous games. Now, he only played 14 minutes. He was hurt in the last game, so maybe that's why the Lakers just kind of want to ease him into it, right? They don't want to just kind of throw him out there and he ends up getting hurt again or something like that. So, we'll kind of see how this plays out. We'll kind of see how this works, once we start against the Warriors, because we got the Warriors game again right around the corner. The Warriors game is 4 days away. So we'll kind of see how that takes place. But, again, Marcus Smart, I thought was very impressive this game. I thought Marcus Smart did a really good job on both sides of the basketball. I thought he looked like the defensive anchor. He looked like the defensive presence that we had hoped. He didn't shoot the 3 ball especially well. He was 2 of 8 from 3. I did feel, because he was at one point 2 of 4. And then I felt kind of got a little shot happy, got a little shot chucky. And that, granted, that was more so when Luka and everybody kind of got out. But he's 5'11" overall. I thought he did have a decent offensive game. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 14 points. But I just thought he was solid on both sides of the basketball. I thought he did a really good job of kind of just being that defensive anchor for this team off the bench. I'll probably do a video about it in the morning, really breaking this down, because I want to get into the chat here and get through as many comments as I can. But I thought it was kind of interesting that they started Luka, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton, right? Gabe, however, I mean, he's been so good. It's kind of hard not to play him, right? My problem is that, he's 6'3", right now he's listed as 6'3", but he's really 6'1" and a half. It was 6'3" with shoes type thing. So I do worry about him being a little undersized, but it's hard to argue when the guy is playing the way he's playing right now. Now, I don't know if Gabe Vincent starts forever. I don't know if this is something like, is this just something where it's like, hey, he's been playing so well, let's kind of reward him. Jared Vanderbilt, he kind of had that injury last game. Marcus Smart is kind of working his way back in. So, because Jared Vanderbilt, I still think is the best defensive player we have, but you could argue the way Gabe Vincent's been playing offensively, it's too good to pass up, right? To have him be the starter, kind of set the tone on the defense side, especially with when he's knocking down at the level he's been knocking down basically all preseason. Now, obviously, preseason, the regular season, we need to see him carry that over. I mean, I'm not expecting him to shoot 80% from three-point range and 83% from the floor, but if he can, be 38% from three-point range, right? Like that could be very impactful for this Lakers team, his ability to defend. And I don't mind it because they're starting that same five against the Warriors. JJ Redick said it pregame. And I don't mind it, especially against the Warriors. I just, there's some teams that have some curiosity with. The advantage you have is that Luka being, 6'7", 6'8", right? He's got the size and the height and the length to kind of, you can guard multiple positions. You can put them in different areas, right? So you could have like Gabe and Reeves at the 1 and the 2 on defense, and then slot Luke at the, the 3 or the 4, and then have, on offense, Reeves play the 3 and so on and so forth, right? So I don't hate that. Like I said, he's been so good. It's kind of hard to argue against that. DeAndre Ayton continues to be impressive in my opinion. 5 of 8 from the field, buying in again on both sides of the basketball. Thought he was really good. He only had on paper 1 block, but he deterred several shots, was contesting and rotating well. He gave us, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Rui Hachimura was 6 of 10 from the field, 4 or 5 from three-point range. I thought he had a solid game. We need to see him continue to be aggressive, him to continue to knock down shots. And then Luka, Luka's Luka, right? Like, there's not really much else to say. I also thought Jackson Hayes was really good, right? I thought Jackson Hayes on the roll and stuff. I thought he had a really solid game. And I said it all offseason. I think he can contribute in a backup role. I think he'll be fine, limited minutes in a backup role. I think he's more than capable of doing that. Lakers will probably run some small ball, especially against a team like the Warriors. I think you'll have different looks. You have different lineups. Maxi Kleba, gives you a different look out there, a guy that can knock down, a shot, knock down, stretch the floor type thing. Dalton Connect hit that huge shot. And if he actually had more time, he might have been able to even win that game. I'm hoping, and look, this might be just overly optimistic. I'm hoping that Dalton Connect, that shot maybe kind of sparked him a little bit, right? Because he has been struggling so bad. And, sometimes you'll see a guy, he just hits a shot in confidence, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, there we go. And then that kind of domino falls. But again, I didn't like what I saw from the Lakers, if I'm being honest, right? If I'm being fair and evaluating properly. I just thought the Lakers were sloppy, even offensively, right? Guys had good offensive nights. Right? Obviously, Luka was fantastic. And it's not so much just Reeves. Reeves was not very good at all. He did, like I said, he did some good things. I like the 8 assists. I like that he grabbed some rebounds, had 2 steals. And I like that he only had 2 turnovers. I like that the Lakers as a team only had like 8 turnovers, which is really good. Or I think they finished with, how many turnovers they finished? 9. They finished with 9 because I was like, I think they had 1 at the end. So, I liked what we saw. I thought there was some great areas. I thought that there were things that, I like certain lineups and matchups. Like I liked that one where it was like Luka, Vando, Maxi Kleba. I think it was like Rui Hachimura, and who's the other one? It was I'm trying to think of who it was. It was Jake LaRavia. That's who it was. Right. I really liked, I thought that was like a pretty cool creative lineup where you just kind of have like your smallest player on the court technically was like Luka Doncic. And then they even ran it with Austin Reeves. But again, Austin Reeves was having a bad game, so it's hard to kind of judge him. Again, I don't want to get on him too much. Preseason game, he's been good most of the games. I thought he did some nice things, so I'm hoping it was just, just a struggle, a bad night, bad shooting night. But I thought there was a couple lineups that JJ Redick threw out there that I think could be pretty interesting and effective. I wish guys played a little better so we could have gotten a better look at some of those lineups, because it was like you kind of had to pull the cord on like it was looking nice with Luka, and then they took Luka out put Austin Reeves in and he was struggling so bad, just didn't look good. And it's like, man, it's like, what would that have looked like if Austin Reeves was playing like he usually does, right? So, in general, I don't like how he played. Defense is still a concern. Again, I don't want to put too much into a preseason game. Like Lakers were winning until we put the G League guys in, right? So that's usually a good sign, right? Like I said, I don't care if the G League guys blow a 10-point lead late, or we're up 20 and then the Lakers end up losing by 20 because the G League guys give the game away. I'm not worried about the wins or losses. Yeah, sure, it would have been nice to get this win. Sure. I just getting worry about when the main pieces were in. And I thought some of the guys just didn't look the way we wanted them to. Right. As a team, you can tell like this team hasn't gotten a ton of reps together because this was the only game we've gotten where they all got the reps together. And it kind of felt that way. So I'm hoping, Austin Reeves again will be better. Guys lock in more defensively. How much of it was them just kind of, just coasting because it's the preseason. It's like, dude, don't get hurt. Right. Like you saw Luka was like, please don't take me out the game. And JJ's like, nah, get out. Like, no, this is preseason. At the end of the day, we got to keep that in perspectives. How do these guys go a little harder? Do things look a little tighter when you're, it's like, hey, this game matters rather than us just kind of coasting. I don't know. We'll find out in a couple days. But again, if I'm being honest and I'm going to fairly evaluate this team, I was a little disappointed with I wanted to see them be a little tighter on both sides of the basketball, and I felt like they weren't. But anyway, let's get into all the super chat questions, all the regular chat questions, all of that stuff. I'm glad preseason's over. Now we can focus on the regular season. We got the first regular season game against the Golden State Warriors in LA in 4 days on Tuesday, 21st. So another thing too is Lakers. Good thing is Lakers don't leave California for like literally like their first 8 games or something like that off the top of my head. Like even the road games are like Sacramento and Golden State and stuff like that. So Lakers will be in good shape. But anyway, let's get into all the chat questions. Real quick, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, and let's rock it. Can you dissect DeAndre Ayton's pick and roll play, his ability to slip reverse screens and get players open, to be specific? To be honest, the DeAndre Ayton, Luka didn't look as clean as I had hoped. There was a couple kind of miscommunication and stuff, but that'll come with time. That'll come with reps. DeAndre Ayton's offensive versatility is what makes things really easy, right? We know he's one of the best rim finishers in all of it. He was like 4th in efficiency at the rim last season. His ability to set hard screens and then slip and roll. He does tend to not fully commit to the screen. He kind of just slip, like he'll just set it and then slip. But I do think I have thought he's done a much better job during this preseason, but we've seen in the past something to kind of keep an eye on. Him, not fully committed to the screen, right? He'll go to set the screen. He'll kind of bump the guy and then slip where, he's quick enough and athletic enough. You want him to kind of, commit to the screen, pin the guy, roll, and then easy lob, easy, dunk, stuff like that. Because if you just kind of, lightly tap and then slip, well, then the defender already know, like, okay, I know what he's trying to do. So it's easier to recover rather than kind of pinning him down and then rolling, right? But his ability to just get from A to B so quickly is what is going to be very valuable, right? Because he's a guy that just, again, can set that screen, hit it hard, and he's just so quick, so agile. He's there immediately, which is something even Luka's going to have to get used to, the timing on it all, right? We've seen, don't get me wrong, we've had moments where it looked beautiful, right? But there was a couple kind of miscues, a couple like forced passes where, you got to kind of clean that stuff up. But as far as just his ability to be more than just a lob threat, right? Like Jackson Hayes. I've talked about what Jackson Hayes. I like Jackson Hayes. I think he's fine in like the second, third big. But we saw last year teams make the adjustment. And because he's, basically outside of lobs, useless offensively, you saw it kind of neutralize that. DeAndre Ayton, you don't have to worry about neutralizing that. And I really like that the Lakers have put him in kind of these in the high post where, or even at the above the break, where he's kind of just running the actions, and they're running all of their actions through him, and he's surveying. He's able to put the ball on the deck. He's able to make plays out of the post. We've seen him. He had that game the other night where he had like 4 or 5 assists. I like it. It's another just option you have. He had a couple assists tonight. He's a guy that can make the occasional play, right? Just opens and unlocks things for you. His ability to kick out, not just that, but offensive rebound and then kick out to shooters. Kind of, if a cutter's cutting, he can kind of make the play, make the pass. And then just his ability to put the ball on the deck, stop on a dime, elevate, shoot over the top, as well as, kind of that little floater in the lane that we see, that little kind of push shot. He does, his shot can kind of be a bit of a dart at times, right? Like, rather than the arc, but hey, as long as he's hitting it, I think it'll be pretty good. But him and Luka, again, I think will be the best two-man game in all of basketball. I just think his ability to just, again, like his athleticism and quickness is what's so valuable, but he's also so offensively sound that it doesn't limit the Lakers. Where, with Jackson Hayes, he gets the ball. If he can't just dunk it, he's, looking to pass out, or, he taking a shot you don't want him to take. Where, if they try to cut that off with DeAndre Ayton, Luka can still dump it down to him. He could just turn over either shoulder, knock down the shot. If he's in the, on the little elbow, he can knock down the elbow, right? Just gives him more offensive versatility. Marcus Smart's ability to simply make plays on defensive side is why he is an elite defender still. Yeah, I mean, the guy was everywhere. Diving for loose. I mean, it's a preseason game, and he sacrificed his body diving for loose balls. Obviously, you don't want to see him get hurt, but I talked all offseason from the moment we got him. If he can stay healthy, he is an X factor. He is huge. Talk about a guy that makes winning plays, and knows what it takes to win, that is comfortable, can hit shots, but also defend pretty much anybody on the basketball court, right? And even the bigger guys, he's gotten better at defending over the years because, again, he's learned how to better position himself, how to, he's got that good mass, good lower center of gravity to where he's not getting bullied. He's strong. He's physical. The dude's an absolute pit bull. I mean, he's going to be tough. I mean, look, we haven't heard anything otherwise, so I'm not going to assume that he's not. I didn't think Vando was as, explosive and covered as much ground as he usually does, but he also only played 14 minutes, and coming off of the injury last game, I'm sure JJ was like, dude, just go out there, right? Like just hoop. Because even like crashing the glass, he wasn't as effective. So I want to wait to see. I don't want to like just jump to conclusions. Let's wait and see how it looks in the Warriors game. But I mean, obviously it's something that, we've seen him play a certain way 5 out of 6 games. And then this game, it's just kind of like, ooh, like he wasn't quite what he was the last few games. So I don't want to jump to conclusions yet, but definitely something to kind of keep an eye on. Who is the new commentator? He's pretty basic. Danny Green. Talk about Danny Green. Danny Green is the guy. Ayton pick and roll is so effective is because they aren't even the main options meant for the weak side. And then Lakers get a 3-D win and we win the chip. Yeah, I mean, look, it's very apparent Lakers need defense. They need shooting. They need athleticism. It's something that we're going to have to address. It's been very prevalent all preseason. And I don't think it's something that like LeBron by himself is going to be able to fix. So I definitely think that that's something that we need to kind of keep an eye on. Again, as far as the Luka pick and roll, I mean, look, I think it's going to be the best offensive play in all of basketball. But even beyond that being the best offensive play in all of basketball, it's just they're the perfect complement for each other, right? And Luka is so good. Again, like I said, the timing's not quite there, but it still looks good because Luka that's just what he does, right? It's how he lives. And he's always looking for that big man. And DeAndre Ayton is so athletic and such quick at getting to the basket, and he can kind of recover and, they kind of help each other. But we did see a couple miscues. I'm sure that'll improve as the season progresses. I really hope the Lakers smack the Warriors, just so water is wet. Don't disappear. Don't, because we'll all be here. Lakers lose, we'll all be here. I don't want you going into hiding until the Warriors and Lakers play again. Reeves was bad this game, but hopefully bounce back game against the Warriors. Yeah, he wasn't, like I said, on a positive note, did like the playmaking, something that I've talked about, right? He needs to show the balance. We know he can score the basketball, right? But we need him to be that 20, 6-8 guy, right? Not the, 25, 5-2 guy, right? He needs to have that all around game. What are you doing besides scoring the basketball? I thought he did other things besides scoring the basketball. I thought he made some nice plays, some nice reads, had a couple steals. I thought he had a couple good defensive sequences. I'm not expecting him to be elite. I'm not expecting him to be great. I thought he was good in other areas. Offensively, had his struggles. I'm hoping it was a bad night, preseason game. We'll see. Let's see. Watching this, it's crazy how many bats. Dude, the end of that game was wild. But start Maxey. I think Maxey has the potential to bring some stuff to this team, but I wouldn't start Maxey. Bro, I love Mark Smart's energy and hustle. And also, you add the offense he's given. Yeah, he was fantastic this game. Like I said, I mean, he was doing the dirty work, making lots of plays, diving for loose balls in preseason, right? Setting the tone, setting the example. I mean, that's beautiful. It's what we need. NBA on TV trying to torture us. Yeah, seriously. Like I said, I get it. It's preseason. They're probably like, dude, we don't want, this is their last pre. Like, we don't want an overtime. I get it to an extent, but wow, what a game. I like Marcus Smart, man. Sheesh. And everybody showed up, and Gabe is still on fire with us. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that 5-man unit starts against the Warriors, because the same 5 guys tonight are going to be the same 5 next game. But like I said, I mean, Gabe's playing so good, it's kind of hard not to start him, right? So Vando needs to start over Gabe. I agree, but again, Gabe's playing so well. I think you kind of leave him in. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite, but it's just, again, Vando, you're trying to kind of keep him fresh, keep him right. Coming off of that injury, Marcus Smart is working his way back. I didn't think this was the route they would go, but being honest, I don't hate it. We'll see, right? But also you got to keep in mind, Gabe Vincent started, but he only played 23 minutes, right? So if you're like, just because you're starting somebody doesn't mean they have to. Like, there's no rule. Oh, because we're starting this guy, he has to play 40 minutes, right? Let's see. I like Ayton's versatility on offense. Shoot middies. Yeah, I mean, look, that's one of the things. It's great, right? Like, his offensive versatility is one of the things that I've regularly broke down this offseason from the moment we got DeAndre Ayton, because he's not limited, right? Like I said, when DeAndre Ayton, or not DeAndre, Jackson Hayes, we saw teams make that adjustment. They cut off that lob threat, and Jackson Hayes is kind of a liability out there, right? Because he's not able to be effective in score. Where DeAndre Ayton, they cut off that lob threat, no problem. Put him on the low post, put him on the block, run your action through him, put him on, above the break, and let him kind of make the decision. Like, there's so many things that you could do with DeAndre Ayton because he's so versatile. You can put the ball on the deck. Let's see. Don't make me equip the pitchfork Lakers. I know we're riling it up. Why are your views so low, bro? And what regards? And talking about like live streams, they'll pick up once the season begins. Preseason is always like this. Like the preseason games, lucky to kind of break 100, but then we start getting to the regular season, then you'll get those streams where there's 5, 6, 7. Like a big game, there'll be 500 to 1,000, and bad game, there'll be it just depends on the game as always. But I'm worried about Reeves being inconsistent on both ends, especially catch and shoot open threes. He's not knocking it consistently. I'm worried on the playoffs. I mean, Reeves has not been a good catch and shoot three. He hasn't been a good 3-point shooter really at all for a while. He'll have these kind of waves, right? Like, And people like to defend and go like, oh, everyone, that's how it works, right? But like Reeves is closer to like old LeBron, right? Not new LeBron, because LeBron's actually been pretty good shooting the three ball. But like you think of LeBron, the last 15 years, right? He was that guy that like for a month would just be like lights out, right? Like hitting everything. And then he'd have like a month where he couldn't make a three to save his life. Right? Like Austin Reeves is like that, right? Like Austin Reeves will have this stretch where he'll go like 10 games and he's shooting like 45% from 3-point range. And you're like, dude, this guy's like lights out. He's killing it. There's Reeves. Let's go. And then he'll have like a 10-game stretch where he's like, 22% from 3-point range, right? Like the last 2 years, he started, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was below 30%. Like, or I think last year was 31%. The previous year was 28%. Right? Like it's like, I mean, he was so bad to start the season a couple, 2 seasons ago. He was coming off Darvin Ham was having him come off the bench. And then same thing with D'Lo. He's having like him and D'Lo come off the bench, right? Like, so again, he's got to find that offensive rhythm, shooting the basketball, especially playing alongside Luka. One of the big things that I talked about going into the season, if Luka and Reeves really are going to coexist, Austin Reeves has to be a better shooter. He has to, right? Because when Luka has the ball in his hands, Austin Reeves doesn't become a threat. I know it's just preseason, but Lakers bench is weak. I mean, it's not Lakers bench, it's the G League guys, right? Like you're talking about the third string guys. You're talking about half the roster, or half of those guys aren't even going to be on the roster. Right? Like I'm not worried about Koloko, Nick Smith Jr., RJ Davis, and those guys blowing leads, right? Like they're not even going to be on the roster. All right, a couple of those guys are being on the two-way, but again, I care like what do the main guys look like, right? Like, to be honest, I would have liked Vando in the starting lineup because he covers so much ground. I do too, but again, like I said, I mean, he's been so good. I don't. It's kind of hard to, not play him. What do you think of Gabe being a starting role? Vando fits better in the lineup, to be honest, and Austin sucked today. So first off, yeah, Austin Reeves definitely had his struggles. But I would personally go with Jerry Vanderbilt because again, he covers so much ground. But are the Lakers trying to just be cautious? Like, is it the Lakers being cautious because Vando, suffered that injury and they don't want to risk him getting hurt? So it's like, let's keep his minutes down. Let's, bring him off the bench type thing. And then two, like I said, Gabe Vincent has been he's been one of their best preseason guys all preseason. So it's kind of hard to, I don't, it's not my favorite, but I get it. Like, I don't hate it. Could Marcus Smart have a Caruso Wallace type of role for this? I mean, I think that's exactly what he's going to have for this team. I think he's going to be there to be the defensive assignment guy, do the hustle play, make the winning plays, right? Like what we saw today, make the winning plays. I love my team. Incoming Warrior fans, effects. I wouldn't be a true Laker game without refs text. Dude, that was wild. That's what I'm saying. Like the end of that game was crazy to me. Like, but it's all right. Like I said, hopefully that doesn't really happen during the regular season. How do you think Luka looks? I think he looked fantastic. I don't even think he's going 100%. I mean, he's kind of just out there, which again, JJ Redick probably was like, dude, do not get hurt. Right. Like, I mean, even he wanted to stay out there and just play. And JJ was like, nah, get over here. Right. So again, I like what we're seeing from him. I think he's showing everything that you could hope for and then some. And I'm excited to see like how he actually looks when the wins count. Marcus Smart moved great. Yeah, Marcus Smart is fantastic. Marcus Smart is a winner. He is. That's true. What's going on, Jeremy? Lakers need to find a way, if possible, next season to target Daniel Gafford. He would be a great fit for the Lakers, and he is a rim protector. Right now is getting a first round exit in 5 games. Good contest. Well, Daniel Gafford is signed that extension, so you'd have to have Dallas be willing to trade him to you. And I mean, look, DeAndre Ayton's been great. off defensively. He's been protecting the rim. He's been doing all of that. I mean, off the bench, sure, but again, they've been pretty good, right? There, Tyler said Austin will get better. He didn't say he sucks because I know some of y'all will get mad at Tyler for hating AR. No matter what I say, there's always somebody that's like, oh, like if I say, oh, Austin Reeves shot poorly, people are like, oh, you just hate Austin Reeves. Like, no, he shot poorly, right? Like, again, I thought he did good things. Like, and usually I am like when Austin Reeves has a bad game, I'm like, yeah, but he did this good. Unless he just has one of those games where he doesn't do good. Right? Like, again, it's final game of preseason. I'm not worried about it yet. We'll fairly evaluate him when the season begins. But no matter what I say, no matter like Austin Reeves could have a 20 turnover and people be like, oh, it's not his fault. Like it's just, nothing I say. There's always gonna be somebody. Tyler is a Reeves hater, caught him in 4K apparently. You can't criticize Reeves at all. Lakers still overrated. We're gonna find out. Let's see. I can't wait for a full game with Luka and Ayton. Likewise, Warriors game. It's gonna be a good test right out the gate. Warriors were one of the better teams, after the Jimmy Butler trade. And if we're being honest and we're being fair, do they advance to the conference finals if Steph doesn't get hurt? Right? Like, no, it's kind of one of those things. So, let's see. Marcus Smart is 6'4", Dorian Finney-Smith. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, does dirty work, makes the hustle plays. Like I'm in the video when we got Marcus Smart, in the video that I made breaking him, like literally like when it was announced, I was like, we just got our Dorian Finney-Smith. Like that, because it's basically what it is. A bunch of Laker fans. Yeah, facts. Let's see. How dare you enjoy a team? Let's see. Oh yeah, he still shows up. He was in last stream, I think. Like I said, there's a couple trolls that are just unanimously accepted by this channel, and Water is Wet, Tyrese, all others aren't accepted yet. Maybe it's preseason, but shifty and athletic guards penetrate the paint. Will be the death of us. Either it's a layup or three. Yeah, I mean, look, that's been the Lakers' problem, if we're being honest. That and transition defense has been a Lakers' major issue for the last handful of years, especially the transition defense. Lakers haven't had a good transition defense in like 20 years. It's like 15 years or something like that. It's like since 2010, I think it is. So, again, a lot of the issues that we had concerns and thoughts about going into the season are all kind of there. So, I mean, we'll see kind of what things kind of continue to rise to the top between now and the, say the trade deadline or whatever. But Gabe Vincent might actually be solid. I mean, he keeps playing the way he's playing. Yeah. Let's see. He's a Chicago Skies fan. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. Me. As it stands, Warriors win. Tyler, I know facts, dude. You're not lying. Like, apparently that's the play. Apparently, I need to make all the Warriors channels are dry. Apparently, I need to create a Warriors channel. I made that Spurs channel because I was like, oh, Wemby's gonna be great for the next 20 years. Probably get a bunch of views. Apparently, to expand the As Stands brand, I picked the wrong team. It should have been the Warriors. Ayton is effective when involved. They must find a way to keep Ayton engaged. Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be Luka's responsibility. I think Luka knows. Keep him engaged. Keep him, motivated. And then that'll also impact on the defense side of things, so on and so forth. Vando and Kleba need to go. So sick of Vando. Vando's been great, though. Like, Vando's been he's been, 2023 Jared Vando. I mean, he wasn't really this game, but again, how much of that was he played 14 minutes and was coming off of the, little knee tweak, right? Like I imagine that they were probably a little like, hey, just go out there and don't get hurt type thing. Vando's been great for us. Great for us. Tyler's thoughts on RJ Lewis. He got waived recently by the Celtics. I don't hate him. 6'8", what is it, 6? No, he's 6'7" with the 7-foot wingspan, athletic. He went to Boston on the Utah trade, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, look, I actually have him, basically like several guys. I have like videos coming, full breakdowns of them. I did like a Drew Timmy video today. But yeah, RJ Lewis, like I think Ruiz, I think he's a guy that can potentially fill in a role. It gives you that athletic. I wanted to see the Lakers go and bring these. Obviously, they can't bring him onto the main roster because they'd have to make a trade. But can you bring him in on the G League team? Can you sign him to the G League and have him, kind of get these guys under the umbrella? Lakers want to bring in young talent, kind of have this influx and all that stuff. So if that's what they really want to do, then, go get these kind of guys, these 6'7" versatile wings that can defend multiple positions, play multiple positions, have athleticism, good wingspans. He's the ideal kind of type. Is he a development guy? Sure. Does he need some work? Sure. But I think he's a guy that, makes some sense for the Lakers to kind of grow and develop. I think there is an argument for Jimmy being better than LeBron in terms of mentality, but I think LeBron is still more consistent than Jimmy, as much as it pains me at this moment in their careers. I don't mind LeBron and can understand why people have him as their GOAT, but I've never been big on him. Like Jimmy Butler does the dirty work better, right? So like the argument I would make if I was going for like Jimmy versus LeBron, like for a team right now, right? LeBron is better and LeBron is more impactful, but Jimmy Butler is probably the most, I mean, you can make the argument, probably the most unselfish star, sometimes to a fault though, right? But he's a guy that really embraces the dirty work, right? Like that's why Miami had so much success with him and Bam. Him and Bam, like they didn't care. Like you see Jimmy Butler in the playoffs having like 7 points, but they're winning by 20. He doesn't care, right? He's just buying in, playing the defensive side of things, doing the dirty work, making the hustle plays. Hey, he's the kind of guy that's like, hey, whatever you need from me, I'll do it as long as we win, right? You need me to go give you 20? Sure, no problem, right? But the reason I say to a fault is like you saw when Steph went down, right? You needed him to be more aggressive offensively, but he kind of just played like he was when Steph was there, which was fine when Steph was there. But as soon as Steph went down, now it's like, hey, you need to be now we need you to go drop 30, right? Which we know he can. We've seen him do that, right? But Jimmy Butler, if you're going to make an argument for Jimmy over LeBron at this stage of their careers, it's LeBron, or it's Jimmy does the dirty work better. Right? Like he's a guy that'll default into just being a role player for the night. LeBron isn't doing that. As much as, I love LeBron and as great as he is, he's not just going to go, hey, you know what? I'll only score 8 points tonight and just defend the best player on the other team. And to be fair, I mean, he's 40 and, 41 in year 23, but that would be the argument if you were to make one, if I was to make one. Trade Reeves, Laravia, and Kleba. I mean, look, again, I don't think anyone's untradeable except for Luka. It just depends on what you're trading. You fine with the current roster, or do you think the Lakers need to make a couple more moves by the deadline? Based on what we've seen from preseason, they need to make a couple more moves by the deadline. I think you need either 2 kind of mid-tier guys or 1 mid-tier and 1 higher tier guy. So, like, I think the Lakers need like a Matisse Thybulle and a, Haywood Highsmith. Right. So now you got 2 kind of athletic, versatile, 2-way guys. One can start, one come off the bench. You have a rotate. You can even play both at the same time if you wanted. Or you need like an Andrew Wiggins and then like a Haywood Highsmith or a Matisse Thybulle. And I think the Lakers are probably the best team in basketball. If you can get a backup center in the mix of that, sure. But I think Lakers need more athleticism. Smart played great. Smart hustled so much. Vando basically had a breather, having to hustle so hard. Yeah, like I thought Marcus Smart was phenomenal. Jared Vanderbilt I felt like he was just kind of coasting out there. We'll see you for the Warriors game. What's good, Tyler? Was hoping the dress rehearsal was going to be a win, but man, Luka was phenomenal once again. I didn't watch the game, so not sure how good everyone did because I was watching the Dodgers. Hey, I don't blame you, Dodgers in the World Series, by the way, everyone. And the sweep. They've only lost one game, right? They lost one game to the Phillies, and that's it. They're gonna win it again. They're too good. They really are. And next season they'll probably win it again because they'll address their bullpen issues, and then that'll be that. But as far as the Lakers go, Lakers were winning when the starters were in. Took all those guys, or the rotation players were in. Rotation guys went out, put in the G League guys, and you lost, right? Like, so I'm not really too worried about it. I did, if I'm like I mentioned it earlier, if I'm being honest, I did think they were sloppy today. I didn't think the Lakers looked as clean and crisp as you would hope in a rehearsal game heading into the Warriors game. Obviously, you don't want to overreact to it, right? I thought some guys had some nice games. I thought some guys had some bad games. I want to be fair and not overreact until we actually see the Warriors game. If the Lakers kind of play like they did today, that might be a rough Warriors game, if I'm being honest. But I expect the Lakers to be a lot tighter come that game. I think guys will play a little more physical, a little more aggressive, all of that. Laravia is not that guy. This season will be hard for Lakers until LeBron comes back. I mean, look, Jake Laravia has done a lot during the preseason. I mean, he's shown his defense capabilities. Is he like fully there yet? No. He's shown his offensive capabilities. He's had some great offensive games. I mean, the first 3 games of preseason, he shot over 50%. He's made plays. He's had rebounds. He had like an 8 rebound game the other night. I mean, this game he played 20. He only got 2 field goal attempts, right? It's like how much is he? He got 3 assists, right? Like, again, it's how much. What's his role? It's kind of hard to fill up a stat sheet when you don't get the basketball. Right? It's just like, who was it? Like the first game, or it was Ayton or whatever. Yeah, it was DeAndre Ayton, where everyone's like, Ayton, look, Ayton's washed. He's trash. And it's like, what are you talking? The guy got 2 field goal attempts. Like, unless he went 2-2, like even then, the most he could get is 6 points, right? Like, it's like, it's kind of how I felt about today for Laravia. We've seen the games where he gets the opportunities and he's been good, right? Like, I don't think he's been great, but like I said, he's a development guy. What did I say when I did my breakdown for him? I said, I think he'll come in, give it, till the trade deadline. I think by midseason, there may be an argument like, hey, we need to start Jake Laravia. He has been our best two-way guy. Like, he has. He's been our best, like, as far as like 3 Andy, he's been our best guy. I mean, you could argue that says a lot about our two-way guys because we just lack two-way guys. But I think Jake Laravia has been fine. Let's see. Lakers finally have some muscle and players unafraid of confrontation and physical play. Vando, Smart, and Ayton bring muscle and strength. Agreed. You got those guys. Like, look, Marcus Smart is one of those guys, like, you don't want to meet in a back alley and you want on your side in a bar fight, right? I love that. Can you imagine the what if of Philly if Embiid didn't get injured nonstop, Simmons didn't flake out, and Butler didn't leave? If Jimmy Butler doesn't leave, I think that they win a championship. I think they win literally the next season because it like that was probably one of the big or even if they don't win the next season, I think they win one by now. Because Joel Embiid, yeah, he would have been having his injury issues, but Butler kind of put everything together for that team, right? He was the clutch guy. He was the guy you count on down the stretch. I mean, it just, yeah, I think that they probably would have won one, which then leads to, like, does Simmons implode? Does Joel Embiid, if he has Butler and Simmons and everything like that, is he able to kind of take games off to where he doesn't have to play through injuries and stuff like that? Luka absolutely is going for. Look, I've said it all offseason. I think unless Luka doesn't play 65 games, I think it's his to lose. Like, genuinely, I think he wins the MVP. What do you think about the starters? I was really surprised Gabe to start. I thought Vando or Smart would be starter. I didn't really expect Smart yet. I would have liked it. I've talked about that on several occasions, but he's just getting back. So I think the Lakers will be cautious with him, especially with him playing like, what is it, 25 games total in the last like 2 seasons or whatever. Vando, I thought that they would start, but like I said, Gabe's been so good. It's kind of hard not to reward him, right? Like, when LeBron gets back, maybe you go with Vando. But I mean, we'll see. I don't hate it against the Warriors, but I have my concerns against like some of the bigger teams or some of the other teams, right? Where you might need that athleticism that Rui or that Vando provides. Laker fans will always trash the players except stars. Definition of fake fans. I mean, look, all fans do that. Every fan has their scapegoat. Every fan group blames the coach or the player or the guy that missed the shot or whatever, rather than the entirety of the game. It's not just Laker fans. Luka is just messing around on this game. That's what it feels like to me. And he's still at a Fedeschi. Yeah, he's out there coasting. I guarantee you, JJ Redick was like, dude, do not get hurt. Just go out there and play. Just go have some fun. Not going to do too much on AR. He has been good. Luka, I thought, missed some shots that he usually makes. And man, you look at a stat and he put up 30 plus. He's going to be ridiculous. Yeah, he's going to be insane. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to put too much into Austin Reeves, right? I mean, look, I'm somebody that has no problem criticizing him, but I just don't think this is the time yet. I thought he did some nice things. Like I said, I complimented him earlier. Gave us 8 assists, took care of the basketball, only 2 turnovers. I love that, right? I thought he was good in other areas. Offense, we know he can score the basketball. Like, I'm not worried about him scoring. It's just everything else. Let's see. Austin had a terrible game. Dude was sticking up the place. Like I said, he had a bad offensive game. 8 assists, only 2 turnovers, handful of rebounds, couple steals, right? Played some decent defense. Not great, but decent defense. I don't think he was stinking up the place, but he wasn't what you needed him to be. I love what Marcus Smart can bring to this team. 1,000%. I mean, dude, you've seen the impact, right? It's just health. Can he stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, the Lakers are in good shape. We only lost this preseason due to Connect coming in today. He played 47 more minutes than any other player. Yeah, he is. And then, yeah, he hasn't been very good. Lakers are trying to get him out of his slump, whether it's to trade him or what. But Connect needs to pack his bags, demand a trade. Lakers will definitely honor it. Yeah. Problem is just no value right now. What were the pros and cons of this game? And do you think it'll be more organized and crisp, especially that starting lineup and the lobs? Yeah, I mean, yes. How crisp immediately, that I don't know, but I do think it will be a lot cleaner. I did think the Lakers were kind of sloppy. I don't know if you were here earlier when I was talking about that. Like, I thought the Lakers were very sloppy earlier today on both sides of the basketball. Better communication, things like that. Again, it's preseason, so how much of it was them just kind of out there, just getting cardio, so to speak? So I do think it will be cleaner. I think it'll be a little tighter. You got 4 days to kind of work on some stuff. I think JJ Redick will kind of watch the film and go over everything with guys. So we'll find out in 4 days. But I mean, the cons were, again, just the Lakers clearly have things that they need to clean up. They still have that lack of athleticism and perimeter defense, right? Like the thing that's been apparent all offseason has been apparent all offseason. But I do think, things like, the offense will be better. Like Reeves will be better offensively. So I think that'll help a ton, put pressure on opposing teams. I think that Luka-Ayton connection will be a lot crisper and cleaner and better, and it'll get better. I think the defense, once you get the defense schemes and you start really getting your actions. So again, I think that there's a lot of good that we can take away. Marcus Smart, guys like that looked very good, which is what you want to see. A lot of players have looked good during the preseason. It's now just putting all that good together. Because one thing when you have a bunch of individual parts, right? We have all the pieces to the puzzle. Now it's just putting the pieces in the right place so that way the puzzle can finish itself. Pretty sure Sportsbooks got Jokic as the pretty heavy fave for MVP. Yeah, but I mean, he's that every season. Like literally last 8 years, he's been by far the favorite. And then I just think Lakers, if they're a top 3 seed and Luka's averaging 38-8, he'll be the MVP. Lakers playing small ball first week, first game. teams aren't too big. Yeah, I think the Lakers will play quite a bit of small ball, especially against the Warriors. If you were ever going to play small ball, it's against the Warriors. I really wish Rob would trade Austin for a better defensive piece because we got enough scoring with Luka and all-time leading scorer LeBron James. Yeah, the problem is like who is that piece? And because you got to keep in mind the hard part. And look, Dark Wolf, been around enough live streams and stuff. Problem is that Austin Reeves, he makes so little, it's hard to find real value for him, right? Like Herb Jones, right? The Pelicans could hit their head tomorrow and go, hey, we'll give you Herb Jones and 2 firsts for Austin Reeves. Lakers can't do it. They'd have to give up Austin Reeves plus like 2 other players, right, in order to make that work. So again, it's hard. Like you got to find the right pieces, but you also need to get proper value, right? Like you're not trading Austin Reeves for like a Matisse Thybulle, right? Which Matisse Thybulle you could argue make more sense defensively and stuff, but again, you're not getting the proper value for your players. And Lakers are trying to win right now, so it doesn't make sense to just accumulate draft picks. It's like, yeah, we get maybe Matisse Thybulle and 2 firsts or 3 firsts, but it's like, then what do you do with the first, right? Like now you got to trade a bunch of other players plus those firsts and find another guy. Like what happens if that guy doesn't become available, right? Like, so it's not as straightforward as we'd like. They should force Reeves to watch a White Man Can't Jump remake before every game until he gets consistent. Yeah, seriously. I love Connect, but you just think that trade has just had him mentally check out. That and he probably needs a new change of scenery. So yeah, I really do think he does. I won't be shocked in the slightest if he gets traded and just ends up averaging like 15 a game for like a team, and everyone's gonna be like, oh look, Lakers, blah blah blah. But it's just the circumstances. I'm hoping he turns it around. He hit that huge 3 to kind of tie the game. Maybe that's something that kind of, take those little things and start building the confidence on. I want to see how Ayton plays against the Timberwolves. Yeah. And I mean, against Denver Timberwolves, like all the tough teams. I agree. Thanks. Drop a like on the video. Well, thank you. Seriously. Yes, please hit that like button for me. I got a few more questions here and then I'm going to skate on out of here. By the way, we need Luka to be fantastic every single game. I'm putting all my trust in 77. I mean, it's Luka. Every game he plays, the guy's going to be ridiculous. If you were the Hawks GM, would you take Austin for Dyson Daniels? If I was the Hawks GM, no, I would not take Austin Reeves for Dyson Daniels. If I was the Lakers GM, I would do that immediately. Just because, again, you have Trae Young. Austin Reeves and Trae Young make 0 sense. And Dyson Daniels is probably the best fit you could possibly have next Trae Young, just like he would be next to Luka. So if I'm the Hawks GM, no, I'm not. I wouldn't do it personally. If I remove my Laker bias. The only team I see hanging with us is Denver. Lakers match up well against OKC last year compared to Denver. Denver's, I talked this past offseason, Denver I actually think is going to be better, right? Like their ceiling is higher with Michael Porter Jr. just because he's a guy that when he's on, you can't stop him, right? The guy's ridiculous, right? But they got deeper and Cam Johnson will make them more consistent. Right? Like Cam Johnson's floor, I think, is higher than Michael Porter Jr. Like Michael Porter Jr. is either like, dude, this guy might be the best player in all of basketball, or dude, this guy should be out of the league at the end of the night. Right? Like he's just like so hot and cold at times. So I really think they'll be more consistent this year. And Denver's just always been a tough matchup. However, Luka loves to play Denver. That's my one. That's why I took the Lakers to beat Denver that first Luka game. I was like, the Lakers are going to smack them. And they did. Because Luka loves to play Denver. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see Chris Middleton doing preseason. Yeah, agreed. I really wanted to see him. But I get it. The rookies, better safe than sorry. But it would have been nice. I hope this is the year we get to see Zion play. I really hope so. Zion looks amazing. Right? Like, I actually wanted to make a video for the sports channel, the NBA channel, about Zion because he's looked fantastic. And all the talk is about skinny Luka and Luka slimming down. I mean, Zion did the same thing, and like no one's talking about it, and he looks great. Smart guarding Murray for Denver and Ayton on Jokic is way different than last year. you have Vando on D. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lakers match up a lot better though too. How about AR for Michael Porter Jr.? Personally, I wouldn't, because again, Michael Porter Jr., he's just so hot and cold. And I mean, granted, we'll see what he does in Brooklyn, right? But like Austin just does more, right? Even if you think Michael Porter Jr. is better, like Austin, like it's not just Austin scoring, it's his scoring and playmaking and all those things. Like Michael Porter Jr. again, like when he's on, the guy's ridiculous. I don't, because again, you wouldn't just be able to swap those two. It'd have to be AR plus Rui plus, whatever else. So personally, no, I wouldn't. I've seen Giannis rumors, and I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm speaking it into existence. Giannis will be a Laker next season. Luka, get him to LA. Yeah, it's one of those things like, don't count on it. If it happens, it happens. Don't get your hopes up. Michael Porter Jr. seems like he lost his confidence after catching all that heat from the WNBA comments. I mean, we'll see how he, like I said, because he's going to get a much bigger role in Brooklyn. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. All fans will realize how bad we will need Adu's athleticism. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Could potentially solve a lot. I feel like Zion should have been the face of the league by now if he wasn't such an idiot. He is talented and such a bully. It makes me sad for the sport and fans that we never got to see. Yeah, I mean, look, Zion Williamson, when he's healthy and dominating, the guy's, I've said this for years. There's no reason he's not a top 3 player in basketball. Like, genuinely. There's no reason, or at worst, top 5. But, like, you don't even think about him in that conversation because the guy just can't stay healthy. It's unfortunate. And Michael Porter Jr. is injury prone. Yeah, it's something else. It's another concern as well. But anyway, got to the end of the chat. Next, I'll probably get a live stream before then, but just in case, because I will be I am in the process of moving, like I said. But yeah, next at worst, next live stream will be at the end of the Lakers game. So we'll see how this plays out. Need the Lakers to get this W. I have some videos for you all between now and then and all of that. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Thank you so very much. On your way out, hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. And I will see you all in the next one.